Richard Ransom, along with Otis Sanford, Chris Tudor, and Reverend Kenneth Whalum. All right, let's talk about the presidential campaign because we had some local folks weigh in and got some national headlines because of it. First of all, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was at a rally with the former president in Michigan, and she made a comment about Kamala Harris for not having biological children to kind of keep her humble. Let's just listen to her words, and then we'll react on the other side.
So my kids keep me humble. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble.
She's taking a lot of heat for that, Chris. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, two points. One, I think it's uncharitable. I don't think it's appropriate. Second, you know, the traditional Christian understanding of marriage is that there's two purposes: the good of the spouse's unity, and second, children. But as we know, as we all know, there are a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't have children, and I just don't think it's our business to be commenting on that publicly, something that's so personal, sensitive, intimate. So, you know, I recognize that is a good of marriage, and we should be encouraging marriages and couples to be to have children, and that's a wonderful thing. But that sort of comment, I think, is uncharitable and has no place.
And we know that she has two stepchildren through her husband that call her Mamala, and they're very close, very tight-knit family from all accounts, including the ex-wife. Says she's been a great stepmom for the kids. I couldn't help but notice the mispronunciation of her name again.
It's on purpose. Trump does it. Vance used to do it. I don't know if he does it now. I don't quite understand what the appeal of it is, but I think perhaps they are speaking to their base. I think there must be a large number of Republicans who appreciate that kind of childish behavior. Why would you intentionally mispronounce somebody's name? But back to what Huckabee Sanders said, what would possess you to even take that kind of approach? Why would you even say anything like that? Not to mention the Christian perspective of it, but why would you say that somebody has nothing to keep them humble? Why is the race so close, according to the polls? I don't understand.
Otis?
With all due respect to my dear friend Chris here, uncharitable is not the word to use here. The word to use here, and more than one word, is dog whistle racism. And I know I'm going to be criticized for saying that, but that's what this is. To say that she is not humble enough tells her base that she is uppity, that she is not a biological mother who is out of her league.
Doesn't know her place.
Doesn't know her place. That is a racist dog whistle at its worst. And she is every bit a mother to her stepkids. And for shame on Sarah Huckabee Sanders for going this way. But that's what this is, pure and simple.
Chris, you got any final words on your
Two things. One, I agree with you. She is a mother, right? She's a stepmother of two children. She got married very late in life. Maybe a lot of our viewers know that. Later than average, I would say. And but I don't see the racial component. I don't think that is that black women not having children is a common racial.
I'm not talking about the black women not having children. I'm talking about the humility part. You're not humble enough. You are out of your place. You are
angry black woman.
Angry black woman trying to get a job that a black woman is not supposed to have. That is the subliminal dog whistle message in that. And I know I'll get criticized for saying that, but that's how I see it.
And I think Chris probably can't even fathom that. Chris is of a generation that is exposed to racial diversity. He's from Memphis, where we got the love between
and look at this panel, folks.
Absolutely, but
There's a lot of love up here.
I agree with Otis. It's a dog whistle, not just racist, but sexist, elitist, and to look at Sarah Huckabee Sanders, look at her background. She wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Why would she take that kind of approach? I don't understand it.
Well, let's talk about the other comment that was made this week. Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee was on CNN. He was asked about this ridiculous controversy about people, Haitian refugees eating dead cats in Springfield, Ohio. Can't believe it's been a dominant news story this entire week, but it has, because they keep feeding into it. They keep standing by it. And Hagerty was asked, do you really believe that this is happening, even though there's not a scintilla of evidence that it is? And he says, well, you talk about evidence. I've heard conflicting reports. There's conflicting evidence. There's a lot of information on the internet that this is happening. The city officials aren't the only source. There are plenty of people who are saying this is happening. Lame to a fault to me.
I disagree. Two thoughts. I think the media has this one wrong. I spent some time last night looking into this, and I'd seen it before, but there's a big hullabaloo about it, so I looked into it. There's not proof, certainly, but there is evidence. There is someone at a city commission meeting, a citizen who approached the city commission meeting several weeks ago and said, this is what I saw. There were 2 reports in the past several months. You can listen to the recordings. I found them. There were 2 reports to the Ohio State Wildlife Agency saying that there are immigrants in the park taking geese. So again, is that proof? No, I'm a lawyer. It's not proof. It's evidence. So for the mainstream media to take this and pretend that it's a lie when we literally have video and audio recordings of citizens bring it. But here's my second point. This it's such a distraction. It's such a distraction. The bigger point is that in the past 3.5 years, and these I should point out, these Haitians that are living in Springfield, these are legal immigrants. A town of 60,000 people is now a town of 80,000 people. The mayor has said social services are stretched to the limit. The bigger point is immigration, especially illegal immigration. In the past 3.5 years, 10 million illegal immigrants, that's a modest estimate, have come into this country illegally. That's the real problem. So we can get distracted and focused on this, I think, overhyped issue. The real issue is that this administration has totally failed the American public in protecting the border and limiting illegal immigration in this country.
Well, then have that conversation. But to bring in these dead cats, I mean, there was a woman who said that her cat was missing. She blamed it on the Haitians. The cat was under her house. And that didn't happen. The authorities in Springfield are saying this didn't happen.
The Republican governor, the Republican mayor are all saying it's bogus.
It's not the media's fault here, Chris.
Okay, but here's my question. The Republican Attorney General of Ohio is not disputing it, but these are, I just presented you with 3 examples of citizens, and then you're telling me, well, the politicians say it's okay, it must be okay. I'm just saying Trump is a liar about this is not true. There's no proof, but there is evidence. Again, it's a distraction.
The campaigns, Wall Street Journal reported this, called J.D. Vance's campaign and Trump's campaign, saying we're seeing these reports. Is there any truth to it? They were told there was no truth to it. He goes on a national debate with 70 million viewers and says it's absolutely happening. They're eating their dogs.
I haven't heard from you on this.
I said my piece.
Y'all, now listen. It is a distraction. And the truth that my friend talked about, the issue of immigration, it was an issue before they talked about dogs and cats being eaten. So why not stand on the issue?
Exactly.
Why bring up this kind of exaggeration? I just hope people get as excited and motivated to vote as they are to argue about this particular point. Because what I think is going to happen is that young blacks, young Asians, young people, period, are going to vote in greater numbers than ever before. And I think Kamala Harris is going to win by a landslide. Anybody who would spend any significant amount of time focusing on this kind of minutia is desperate. And I just hope that the results speak loudly that the people are tired of it.
One last point, because let's not let the Senator Hagerty get off the hook here with his
Embarrassing.
comment. It was an embarrassing statement, and it just goes to show that in some instances, stupidity is contagious. And he is part of these acolytes that are following the Trump train, and he's willing to say anything to appease Donald Trump.
Well, I can't help but think, too, about when it comes to immigration. It's an absolutely legitimate issue. It's a terrible problem that this country is facing. You have legislation that's ready to be signed.
Right.
That's the toughest ever against immigration.
Right.
It gets canned because we got to keep it alive as a campaign issue.
Right. And Trump told them to keep it alive, and they followed him, including Mr. Hagerty, including the Senator Blackburn. They did just what Trump told them to do.
I
to
would
keep
vote
it
for
alive.
Chris over either of them, and I hope that this is the kind of Republican that will run for those seats, man. We don't need an embarrassment like that representing the state of Tennessee.
I think we'll have to disagree on this one. There's an interpretive model for how you take Trump's statements that's elaborated a long time ago. You take him seriously, but not literally. This is a great example of that. This is a real issue. It's an exaggerated example, but it's a emblematic of a deeper, serious, massive issue.
But we chose not to have addressed.
But
when he killed the
we
legislation.
can't have a president that you have to pick and choose about what you're going to believe about him.
We
though.
have one right now.
Oh, come on.
I mean, did you miss the debate in June?
Well, that was ineptitude. It wasn't. That wasn't lying. That was flat out lying.
I love this show. This show. I love.
We're having a good time.
We have one more segment of the show that you love so much. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.